So I've had periods of time where I've gone through some really traumatic events. And I would say I soldiered on beyond those traumatic events. So I've been molested, I was groomed and entered a abusive relationship from the age of 14, that I eventually married that man, uh, and he stabbed me. And beyond that, I've had abusive relationships with addicts, and I've been arrested. So the traumatic history goes on and on and on. But it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years ago when I began to write my memoir that I recognized how stuck I had been, although I would have championed that I survived and I was able to move forward. I think it was the reflection in hindsight that made me realize how much I had just been living in autopilot for most of my life.
So it was the writing, the journaling that actually kind of really gave you the aha moment, was it?
So my family and I were traveling full time for several years. And during that time is when I believe that I hit my wall. I was under a lot of pressure because I was the only one at the time with an income. I was running a business, and I really couldn't enjoy traveling through Europe for over 2 years because I was only focused on business. And we got to Turkey towards the end of the journey, and I stayed in bed for nearly 2 months. I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the desire. My family went out and explored Turkey, and I could not leave. I literally, one day we got to the apartment that we were staying in. I went up to the 21st floor, and the next time I left that apartment was 2 months later when we were heading to the airport. And there was this reconciliation for me then that something had to change. And that was really when I started, like, really reflecting on my life and how the culmination of all the traumatic experiences is what had me stuck in that bed for literally 2 months. And so I started journaling, and as someone who's been through therapy over the years, I've worked with a coach. I myself am a coach. I had to just really unpack the tools that I already had, spend some time unpacking those tools and reminding myself of all of the healing that I had done along the way so that I can get myself into a place where I actually was back doing the things that I like to do and being impactful in a way that would serve not just me, my family, but the wider audience.